I'm going to try my best to articulate this video as thoroughly, as plainly, as eloquently as possible. I don't want there to be any lost context. I don't want to just look like I'm coming out of nowhere having a temper tantrum because these things are happening. The allegations I am levying towards YouTube are extremely serious, and I'm taking this video extremely seriously. YouTube, you guys either play favorites, you are racist, or it's a mix of the two. These are the three options, YouTube.
Hey everybody, it's time I start talking about the platform I make content on and how it's treating even its top users. Let's start with this. If you are not a large mainstream media company, a celebrity, or a public favorite, YouTube does not like you. The point I'm trying to make is that if you're an average creator on this site, YouTube genuinely dislikes you. And now apparently YouTube doesn't like black people either. So recently a YouTuber very near and dear to my heart called Coryxkenshin uploaded a video called YouTube, Racism and Favoritism. And in it, he tells the story of how YouTube continues to hold him and his channel back. Now if you know me, you know that I almost never talk about this kind of shit, but Cory is a YouTuber that I actually really care about. I've been watching this guy since I was like 8 or 9 years old, and even though I've grown a bit out of watching his videos, I'll still pop on a spooky scary Sunday sometimes just for old time's sake to see how this man is doing. And to see the platform I make videos on fuck my man over like this is fucking awful. What this is essentially about is that Cory recently made a video on some horror game called The Mortuary Assistant, and that video got age restricted because of some scene in the game that apparently violated YouTube's self-harm policy or something. So Cory thinks, oh okay, and just appeals it, but then YouTube puts on its big boy pants and doubles down on the restriction. So Cory goes, alright, everybody similar to me has played the Mortuary Assistant, I'll check if they're getting age restricted too. So he looks for every creator with that self-harm part in their video, and turns out every single one that has it is not age restricted. So now Cory goes, what the fuck, and starts looking into things with his YouTube partners, and they get the vibe that he's pissed and feels discriminated against, so they remove the restriction. Now that would be all well and good in my books, but then the question of why comes into play. Why the fuck would YouTube go back on their double down after being shown Markiplier's video? Which I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but he used Markiplier's playthrough of the same game as like evidence, I suppose. But anyway, Cory asks, why did you remove my age restriction after being confronted like that? And in response, YouTube without hesitation reinstates the restriction, and to top it off, restricts Markiplier as well, just for good measure. It's seriously fucked to me how even the top YouTubers with tens of millions of subscribers and billions of views in total don't even get shown basic amounts of respect from this website. And if you think this is it, it's not over. After talking about that situation, Cory then goes on to talk about something very suspicious with the platform that he's noticed. Like, this first thing could have just been bullshit, right? A mistake. Barely a mistake, but we should always assume ignorance before we begin to think about foul play. But this next thing is actually suspicious as fuck.
Every single time that I come back to YouTube, I'm #1 trending for a few days, and then they find some arbitrary issue. They nitpick and they try and find something that they can incriminate me for and try to push me down. You don't believe me? What happened the last time I came back and I was #1 trending for like a week? They copyright struck me for a video that was in 2019 or something like that. Why don't these issues ever crop up when I'm not uploading? I mean, I'm not on YouTube like 9 months out of the year. Nothing ever happens until I come back and I start uploading again, and I'm getting my numbers, they're climbing, they're exploding, I'm #1 trending, and then they're like, hey, we need to stop him. We need to, hey, this black man, he's getting too many views. He's getting too much exposure, too much activity. You realize how bad this looks for you, YouTube. You realize how unfair this comes across. In all my years, have never seen a video get age restricted, de-age restricted, and then age restricted again. Have any of you ever seen that happen before? They saw that I saw that there was some unfair stuff going on, so then they tried to appease me by de-age restricting the video. I say, wait, why are you doing that? Because I sent Markiplier's clip. And then they say, oh, okay, well, let's just age restrict them both. Why is my channel so much more thoroughly scrutinized? especially so when I've been #1 trending multiple days in a row, which I've done multiple times. And every single time I start to get an uptick in traction, an uptick in activity, here comes YouTube coming through. Hey, let's get him for that video from 2019. Yeah, you see this, Corey? No, this is bad. It wasn't bad the 9 months that I was off the platform. It was only bad when I got back and I was #1 trending.
This to me makes absolutely no sense. Every time Cory is doing extremely well, YouTube will try to take him out for anything. They will look for everything and anything to get him to do worse without it being obvious. It's almost like they don't want him to be one of the faces of their platform. And I honestly would not put that past YouTube, since I vaguely remember them targeting gay and trans people in a similar way too. And what puts the nail in the coffin for YouTube here for me personally is that apparently minutes, possibly even seconds after Cory uploaded this video, it was flagged for ad suitability. Like, is YouTube actually trying to get people to dislike them? Who runs this shit?
I believe there is some racism involved within the policy team, and YouTube in general really doesn't care about black people like that. They got their favorite creators. You know, log out of YouTube. Log out and go to YouTube. You'll see the people on the front page every single day. You'll see the favorites. Count how many are black, count how many are of people of color.
I think this is genuinely one of the best points ever made by a YouTuber. I remember so clearly how after making the CQH account, after being on another account for 6 years, I had to literally almost fight YouTube to get people I like watching into my recommended. It was always some news team or Dr. Phil or some dude perfect video about, I don't know, fucking boomerangs. But I would never see a Coryxkenshin video. I remember I always had to look my man up even while he was doing the 100 videos thing where he'd upload every day for 100 days straight. Not a single video showed up in my recommended. And when you start to question if this is foul play, it all starts to make a bit too much sense. So here's what I propose. We as a community fucking talk about this. Count and Omens, if you guys are watching this, make videos on this, especially you, Count. I don't know how, but you do the algorithm better than an Alabama hillbilly does his sister, alright? And if you were a small commentary channel or just a YouTuber in general, please talk about this for me, because we can't let this shit slide. That's my take on this situation. I hope justice is inevitable, and I'll see you guys next time. I hope we can turn this into a shitstorm, and with all that being said, go away.
They try and peddle YouTube black. They try and give us a spotlight. And do you know how condescending and patronizing that is? Oh yeah, let's give a spotlight to these black creators because we're all about diversity. All this communicates is black people aren't good enough on their own skill, on their own merits, on their own talent. So we got to give them a spotlight. We got to come down and raise them up so they can get some spotlight action. Well, how about you save all that YouTube black, all that fake patronage, all that fake pandering that you guys do. And when you have a black creator coming to you repeatedly saying, why am I being treated differently than other creators? And then you come back and, oh, we got to age restricted. And then, oh, no, he's on to us. Okay, we got to age restrict them both. Fake! It's fake. That's what it is.